All the late night bargains have been struck between the satin bowls and their bells. Prehistoric garbage trucks have the city to themselves. Echoes of Mars, dinosaurs, they all doing a monster mash. Most of the taxis, most of the whores are only taking calls for cash. I don't know how it happened. It all took place so quick. But all I can do is hand it to you and your latest trick. Well, now my door was standing open. Security was laid back and laughed. It was only my heart that got it broken. You must have had a fast key made out of wax. You played robbery with insolence, and I played the blues in 12 bars down on Lover's Lane. And you never did have the intelligence to use that 12 keys hanging off of my chain. I don't know how it happened. It all took place so quick. But all I can do is hand it to you and your latest trick. Well, that's past last call for alcohol. Fast recall has been here and gone. The landlord, he finally paid us all. The satin chairs made us put away their horns. And we're standing outside of this wonderland, looking so bereaved and so bereft, like a Bowery bum when he finally understands the bottle's empty and there's nothing left. I don't know how it happened. It was faster than the eye could flick. But all I can do is hand it to you and your latest trick.
I know that there's a reason why I need to be alone. You show me there's a silent place that I can call my own. Is it mine? Oh Lord, is it mine? You know I get so weary from the battles in this life. There's many times it seems that you're the only hope inside. Is it mine? Oh Lord, is it mine? When everything's dark and nothing seems right, there's nothing to win, and there's no need to fight. I never cease to wonder at the cruelty of this land, but it seems a time of sadness is the time to understand. Is it mine? Oh Lord, is it mine? When everything's dark and nothing seems right, you don't have to win, Last night I was feeling something wasn't right. There was not another soul in sight. Only you, only you. So we walked alone, though I knew that there was something wrong, and a feeling that feels so strong about you. When you gazed up at me, and the answer was plain to see, 'cause I saw the light in your eyes, in your eyes. So we had our fling. I just never would suspect a thing, till that little bell began to ring in my head, in my head. But I tried to run, though I knew it wouldn't help me none, 'cause I could never love no one, so I said, 'cause my feelings for you were just so I knew till I saw the light in your eyes, in your eyes. But I love you best. It's not something that I say in jest, 'cause you're different girl, from all the rest. In my eyes, and I ran out before, but I won't do it anymore. Can't you see the light in my eyes? In my eyes, in my eyes.
Welcome, everyone. I'm honored to be here today. Very good friends with Denny and Katie over the years, and through this process, I've gotten to know Tim pretty well. Sarah, Christy, thank you all so much for working with us and getting this put together. You've done a wonderful job. You'll see some of the elements that they've all chosen today to honor Will's life. My name's Ryan. I'm nobody special, just going to help out lead things today. One thing I like to counsel many people on when they've had a loss in their family is we have a tendency to speak of people in the past. They were, he was, she used to. I like to really remind people that when a person has been in this life and had any sphere of influences at all, they have not only the effects of their life, what they've done, whether it be a job or a career or working on an old car or whatever it may be, but they also have the love that they expressed through this life. Not to mention the fact that they still are. They absolutely do still exist. They're just at a higher plane or a different level. I think that was spoken about Will many times. He was a very spiritual man. He found very much of his peace through the water and through his time at the lake. And he was very thoughtful and through his martial arts that he practiced and things. So I really do believe he's on to a much better place, and he still is with us in so many ways. It's been circling around social media lately. Jim Carrey had a monologue on grief. It's very poignant. I'd like to read to you. It's not just an emotion, it's an unraveling, a space where something once lived but is now gone. It carves through you, leaving a hollow ache where love once resided. In the beginning, it feels unbearable, like a wound that will never close, but over time, the raw edges will begin to mend. The pain softens, but the imprint remains. A quiet reminder of what once was. The truth is, you never really move on. You move with it. The love you had does not disappear. It transforms, it lingers in the echoes of laughter, in the warmth of old memories, in the silent moments where you still reach for what is no longer there. And that's okay. Grief is not a burden to be hidden. It's not a weakness to be ashamed of. It is the deepest proof that love existed, that something beautiful once touched your life. So let yourself feel it. Let yourself mourn. Let yourself remember. There is no timeline, no right way to grieve. Some days will be heavy and some will feel lighter. Some moments will bring unexpected waves of sadness, while others will fill you with gratitude for the love you are lucky enough to experience. Honor your grief, for it is sacred. It is a testament to the depth of your heart, and in time, through pain, you will find healing. Not because you've forgotten, but because you have learned how to carry both love and loss together. This time, Katie and Dennis and others crafted a beautiful obituary. You can't capsulize someone's life down to a piece of text in the newspaper, and I know that's true of Will. But they did a good job hitting the high points. I want to invite Tyler up to read that for us.
Hi, everyone. Tyler Sparks. Will's my brother, and became that through my beautiful love of my life, his sister Christy. Not easy to follow a Jim Carrey passage on grief, but thank you, Dennis and Katie, for writing these words. Will was born on February 6, 1974 in Midland, Michigan, the son of Dennis and Linda Cavanaugh. By the time Will was 2, the family had settled in Monmouth, Illinois, where his father, his grandfather, and his uncle owned and operated a car dealership, Cavanaugh Motors. Growing up as a child on the Mississippi, the family spent a lot of time on the water. Boating and water skiing were a lifelong passion for Will. In middle school, his parents enrolled Will in martial arts, classes where he absolutely thrived. While neither judo or aikido are inherently religious, they both have a significant spiritual and philosophical component. They promote values like respect, sincerity, and self-control. They aim to unify the mind, body, and spirit. Will believed in these values, and he tried to practice them in his daily life. After high school, he graduated from Hamilton Technical College with honors. After graduating, Will decided to head west, first to Salt Lake City, Utah, before settling in Durango, Colorado, to be closer to family. He was the general manager of the Tile and Carpet Store, which is a family-owned business. The wonderful staff, Amber, Keenan, and Joanna, miss him terribly, as we all will. Will enjoyed spending time with his partner, Deanna, and their dog, Radar. He also had a passion for music and was an avid collector of vinyl records. He did some DJ work in his spare time. Deanna and Will also spent time on Lake Night Horse, which he loved. He had a quick wit and was top-notch Monty Python mimic. Will touched so many lives, and we are all blessed for having known him and loved him. Will is survived by his partner, Deanna Garza, Durango, father and stepmother, Denny and Katie Cavanaugh, Durango, mother and stepfather, Linda and Dave Miller of Macomb, sister, Christy Sparks of Bloomington, sister, Sarah Cavanaugh Island of Texas, a stepsister, Kendra Collins of Baltimore, and stepmother, Britt Collins of Durango, and other extended family and friends. We are all heartbroken by his passing. Will had a tremendous effect on all of our lives. He loved deeply and was fiercely loyal, passionate and spiritual, and man, did he have an amazing impact on all of our lives. And I know we'll love him forever. So thank you.
Wonderful work by Christy, putting together some photos for a slideshow that we'll watch together as we look at memories of Will's life.
At you all, see the love that is sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. I look at the floor and I see Henry sleeping. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why nobody told you how to unfold your love. I don't know why someone controlled you. They bought and sold you. At the world, and I know this is tearing, while my guitar gently weeps. Every mistake we must surely be learning. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why you were diverted, you were perverted too. I don't know how you were inverted, no one alerted you. That you all see the love that is sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. That you all still my guitar gently weeps. that you are. Still my guitar, gently weeping.
The family would like to allow time for anyone that would like to come up and tell a story, a memory, any quip about Will, any famous saying that he was known for. And I venture to say, based off of what I know of him, I've spoken to him on the phone several times, nothing's off the table. So come on up, do him justice. Come on up.
I want everybody to know I knew Will through the shop as a builder, and just that I don't know how many times I told people to come to Tile and Carpet Store because they knew what was how to do things in a way that nobody else in town did. And that was everybody. But like Will's a huge part of that. And that's not something that you guys hear. None of you heard that. But I was out there, talking to people, you never heard that. But now, I do want you to know that that's what I said about Will, through the years, is purely from a building perspective. So he was well known in the community in that way. Um, and sometimes you don't get to see that. You weren't there when I was telling people. So you all know that.
I'd like to speak as a fellow business in Durango that is in the same business that Will is in. It's unusual to have a competitor in business that you actually like as a person and you respect each other for their craft. And I always respected Will. He had a way about him that was peaceful, he was honest, he didn't play dirty. And I can't say that about a lot of business people today. And I've been in business for a long time, longer than I care to admit to. And, I was very fond of him in the way that he handled things. And we had a good relationship, which I appreciated that very much. When you live in a small town and there's a lot of different businesses that do the same thing that you do, it's unusual to have respect for your competitors because there's a lot of shenanigans that go on. And Will just wasn't that kind of guy. Didn't pull any shenanigans, he was honest. And I knew if I needed something, I could go to him and ask him. And that's unusual. And so I wanted to pay my respects to him because that's something that you don't see very often in this life. And business is a very dog-eat-dog world. And in a small town, even more so. And you're only as good as the job you did yesterday. And that's something I've never forgotten as a young man. So I don't know very many of you here, but I want to tell you what I know about Will, which is not a lot. I respect him greatly for the way that he carried himself. He had integrity and he had honor. I don't see that a lot. So it meant a lot to me, and I wanted to pay my respects today.
Super compassionate person. He's always been that to me, no matter what. And, treat my kids and life problems. And he would always, literally, he's literally giving me your office back. Ask me to borrow a toothbrush, There's some pretty sticky spots to go to. You would put in something on his leg and make sure that. So, I never told another man but I told him every time I talked to him about
sides to him and everybody thought he was such a deep, healing, spiritual person. He just, I don't know, that's some really nice.
I feel I should tell a story from the Tyler Curtis about Will's sense of humor. So we will work together for a very long time, and I think we need to sometimes embrace the laughter of all of the good parts of what we do. And so Keenan had gone for a river trip on it was the Salmon or the Grand, one of the two, but he was gone on a very long river trip. And Will was a little devious like this, and Keenan's computer is the one that plays all of the music for us. So Will decided that he was going to start saving different versions of the Never-Ending Story onto Keenan's YouTube music, and managed to accumulate, I don't know, what was it, 35, 40, maybe 100 different versions of the Never-Ending Story. They all looked and stuff there. So then when he got back, it just randomly kept coming up as a theme for all of us. And so that will be something that I'll always remember Will by, but that really comical of just that little devious comical side of it, of just needling us and always having a good time at work. And that was the chickens.
It started with the mullet. Does Debbie remember Will's mullet picture of childhood?
Oh, yes.
And he brought it in, and I got a copy of it, and it became Hide the Mullet. Because we would be with the customer on the sales floor, pick up the sample, and Will, as 58-year-old, was a mullet. And he was such a good sport about it. And he would try to find it so he could hide it in the worst place. Then you couldn't admit it to the customer that he had the mullet.
Well, if we're going to talk about little tricks and jokes, why, it was kind of a family thing. And one of the ones that always got me was we had this family friend, John Smallwood, that was in the office business. And Will got the idea that we needed to pull something on John. So John would drive by in his car on the way to a call, and the office equipment store, he had lots of office equipment in there. And he started, well, with his idea, would write a note about, I need this back by Friday, with no name on it. And then he'd put it on a piece of office equipment. And so that piece, John would look at it. And he told me this later. He says, well, I was looking at it, I thought, what the heck? And I'd set it aside. And a few days would go by, and he'd drop by the dealership again. And Will would run out and put another note on another piece of office equipment. You know, I can't figure out why it's doing something. And leave this note is totally vague. And he did this about 4 or 5 times. One day John comes in and he's talking to me. He's got this worried look on his face. And he says, Dennis, I think I'm losing it. And I said, what do you mean? He says, I got all this office equipment on the back of the car. I don't know where it goes.
Yeah, so Will came into my life when I was quite young. Although not my brother by blood, definitely became a figure, my brother, quite rapidly. I remember when I first met him, he'd come here from Salt Lake City, and immediately he introduced me to many of his passions. He was building computers, mixing music, he had vinyl and all of these things, and he had been living in our property at the time, and he had built a computer, and I remember he sat there piece by piece and taught me how to build a computer, and I always wanted to emulate that, right, and it took me so long, actually, that I've just done that, in the last year or so, and even now, I, wanted to emulate the way that he did it, the way that he taught me to do it, all a decade ago, right? Either way, I suppose he's, taught me a lot during his life, and I always appreciate him for the things we did together. Very good photo.
I'll throw it out there. I'm the brother-in-law from Texas. So I'll tell you about when I first met Will. And I see a lot of wives and girlfriends here. So for all the wives and girlfriends who don't know, there's no man who's never met his brother-in-law that wants to hear my brother-in-law's coming to the house for a week, and I've never met him. Right? I live with a lot of stress, and that takes me from here to here. Just hearing that my brother-in-law that I've never met is coming to stay at my house for a week. So he shows up, and I'm stressed because this is someone I've never met, and I want to make a good impression, like all of us want to, right? And he showed up, and I'm on my best behavior, and after about half an hour of me being on my best behavior and my stress out the window, I start to figure out his aura, his presence, the things he said, the way he spoke, had a very calming effect on a guy like me, and I carry a lot of stress. I'm just one of those guys. I'm always on edge, I'm always running around, I'm always late for something, like I was late for this today. But he just had a way of speaking to you and making you feel comfortable and like family. And even if he did something that I wanted to be mad at him, I was kind of like, just by him being him, I felt better about being me. And I think if we can all carry a little bit of that with us and remember some of that calming effect, how he made you feel good about yourself, that maybe he's left the place a little better, and I think that's all we can hope, right? So, anyway, thanks.
Paul was my uncle, and I miss him a lot.
The others?
Pretty much impossible to follow my daughter, expressing her missing her uncle. She is a genuine soul. I think, much less like I said, was fiercely loyal and loved us. His sister, Christy, she and him, I think, were in many ways like Irish twins. They talked every day, most, and their humor and their connection is something that's taken me sort of quite some time to understand. I don't have that same depth of relationship with my siblings, and that is something that I aspire to learn a lot as a human and grow a lot in my own capacity to love and to have empathy, care for people, and to be fiercely protective of that. He wasn't the type of person who wanted a billboard up to celebrate himself. He did all of the right things in the quiet spaces of his life. Just like Jim Carrey said, it's how we feel as a family. The rest of our lives, they will hold on to that. He touched my sons, shared skateboarding and music together. One of the best parts and the thing that I'll probably leave with you is that he gave me some credibility in that sense. Every now and then he would send me something and say, "Have you heard this?" And it'd be like pop or something, and I'd be like, "Hey, Eli Red, you heard this?" And they'd be like, "What is this?" And then I was on the playlist all the time. And suddenly I wanted to do that. These are 18, 20.
21.
21. What a wonderful human being. It's just so I know Christy expressed all of how thankful she is that you're here, expressing your love and your gratitude for his
BJ's younger sister. And one thing that we all know about him is his sense of humor. And you would hate all the tears he goes. So I was talking with Deanna and Wes the other night, and one thing I said is, everybody gets to know him in a very different way. And that's one of the best things about getting together is learning all of his different sides. Because he'd hate me crying when I told him your story. But one thing that he did with a sense of humor is like playing pranks at the office. And there was one year for Christmas, he played a prank on me. I know. Season of Giving, I get in the mail, and it's a beautiful little jewelry box. And I couldn't get it open. I didn't know why I couldn't get it open. And I could shake it, there was something inside. So I call and tell him thank you. I'm like, I don't really understand. I thought it was a box. Like, whatever. He goes, oh no, it is. He goes, I thought I would give you a minute to figure it out. It's a puzzle box. It has your present inside. And Christmas is in December. My birthday's in July. But I have the instructions that will know you for your birthday. that is true BJ form. And for those of you who know how much he loves his music. Going way back in the day, when I was in high school and he was in college, and we didn't spend some time together, we both loved some of the same music at the time. And I saved my money working at the same grocery store he did, and I bought us each a ticket to go see the Smashing Pumpkins concert. And we went to the concert, and it was about an hour away, and he was pumped. And we're waiting, and the band comes on, and I know he's not getting hyped. And I look over, and he's passed out cold. Kidding you not, he slept through the entire concert. He wakes up and thinks they're starting. But in good BJ fashion, he rolled with the punches, and that's how it was. And that is just who he was. Is someone that had a great sense of humor, someone who was very laid back, someone who wanted to go out and have fun, and someone who had, as we all know, from getting to know him, so many different layers of who he was and how he was each individual. And just as Tim was saying, just as Tyler was saying, that take those parts of him that meant something that you want to emulate, just like Griffin said, and take this with you and keep him alive by emulating the good parts of who he was.
I should probably share a little story about him and his music. Will and I, every generation usually has some differences in music. And I told Will that, coming up in the next few months, if you see a concert you'd like to go to, I'll take you. Well, Monmouth is like forever to get to a town that has a big band. And Metallica was coming. Okay, now me and Metallica I don't have those albums, I'll face it, And it was Metallica, and I said, well, you can bring a friend if you want. And I thought, well, that'll help keep him entertained. And it went from a car to a bigger car to a van. And by the time we left, we had about 8 guys going to this Metallica concert. And I made it through it. They also had Queen Strike, as I recall. And, my kind of music, But he really enjoyed it. And that was the first time that I really got a clue as to how much into music he was. The odd thing was he never played an instrument, and I don't understand why not. But we were straightening out and collecting some of his albums here today, and if you put each album flat against each other, I kid you not, it would go from here to that wall. That's how many albums he had, hundreds of them. So he was really into music, and I'll never forget that trip with all those kids going to that Metallica concert. It was a good time. I should have had him put a note under one of the pictures up here too, by the way. There's a picture of him in his Superman outfit. Now, I've never really been embarrassed, tickled by my kids, but not really embarrassed. But one day he closed. We lived on Broadway. It was a busy street. And I looked out one day and he had a Superman outfit on, running up and down, lap after lap, with a cape flying out the back. And, I was just chuckling about it. We came in and he had kind of a sad look on his face. And I said, "What's the matter, BJ? You look like you're having fun." And he said, "Well, I was out there running and this guy walked by me and he just kind of looked at me like this and looked at me like this and kind of laughed and then he walked off and he was laughing at me." So that's okay, you're having fun, just go run down. Back out he went with the Superman costume on Broadway. He was kind of like that, he didn't embarrass me. Yeah, our family was really good at gagging each other. It's just, it went from one generation to another. I had grown aunts and uncles playing tricks on each other and little things. And Katie just reminded me that Will was really into anything he could put under his feet, whether it was skis or a wakeboard or skateboard or whatever. He wanted a new, I think that was a wakeboard. It was a snowboard. Okay. So we thought, okay, we'll make this interesting. He doesn't know what he's getting for Christmas. We made sure because this was going to be a special present. And I got a box about a foot and a half by a foot and a half and had slots in it and put the wakeboard through so it was sticking out both sides. And he was always nosing around the tree. And when I said, "Now you can't nose around that one," like I was going to fool him or anything. He always got a kick out of that. I kept that wakeboard a long time. But yeah, and I don't know how you guys did at the store, if you got any gags played on you, but one of the other things, when we first opened the store, we used to get our drill bits in the can, and so it wouldn't hurt anything, they would come with a foam ball. Well, he started saving those things up. Now, Amber probably remembers this. First year we were in business, we're getting these drill bits with these balls. And he'd collected a whole bunch of them, and you'd be walking through the store, and about that time, the zing would go by this foam ball. So sooner or later, you figured out that you had to save a couple for yourself. It didn't take but a few months, and there must have been a dozen balls collected in that store, and when nobody was in the store, you never knew when you were safe to walk through here. This ball would come chugging by your head. Yeah, he got that little mix started.
Well, I think it was the playing card that's still above the door and entry wires. He got the playing card stuck in the wires. He got so good at tossing them. It became an actual eye hazard. I'm like, I gotta wear glasses in here. He was really good at it.
Well, one of the things he loved to do, and Katie, I'm Will's stepmom, is nobody could make me jump like Will could make me jump. And I was constantly, if he was around me, doing this because he'd pop out from behind the door or he'd come up behind my chair and jump up over my shoulder. And I mean, of course, I jumped. He finally felt bad. He kind of quit it because I was jumping higher and higher and losing my breath. And he's like, "I think I'm really going to have to stop doing this to you." It's starting to get to where it's not fun anymore. But Will had a great sense of humor. And we all loved him very much. One last thing I'll say on that note is Will was around for some of my best days and some of my worst. But the one thing was is he never held it against me in any way. And he always had some encouraging words no matter what I was trying to get through. And I will always appreciate that. And as I said, we will always still carry his love and his passions with us forever.
close down here shortly, but I just want to check, is there any announcements that need to be made about any gatherings, anything that we need to make sure the crowd knows about?
Well, I might mention we don't have to rush off, right? Eat some extra time, just really an extra hour here. And you just want to hang out and talk.
Yep.
Sure, that'd be fine.
I've got a short walk home, so you take your time, spend as much time here in our house as you'd like. Yep. I'll close at this time with one of my favorite poems about a passing. It's actually even out on our sign that we had developed just because it's that special to us. It's very poignant, and if you read in the pamphlet the Kurt Vonnegut quote, there was a specific line in there that talked about why are we crying, or don't cry. It's silly to have tears right now. Katie, you said that. We talked about it from the beginning. Why are we crying? Why are we crying? We're hurting so bad. But Will wouldn't want that. He would want you all to just really take everything that he's ever done to you, talked to you about, taught you, whatever it may be, and just live that. More legendary than anything, I'd say. I'll read this poem. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I'm not there. I do not sleep. I'm 1,000 winds that blow. I'm the diamond glints on snow. I'm the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning hush, I'm the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. Makes me think of Navajo. I've got to know, though, what's he doing in that image? Is he...
So he's actually commanding radar.
Okay.
He's actually commanding radar right there. That's like our favorite spot that we would camp in the beginning of the season and the end of the season. So.
I was wondering if that was radar, so I'm glad you mentioned that, Deanna. Thank you so much. We're going to close with a good song, and it kind of sums everything up, Spirit in the Sky.